Hello folks, my name's Hypocrite and welcome to yet another episode of HOI4 TNO as Samara. So, first things first, I've actually had to do the whole campaign all over again because the save was broken and I couldn't make Hitler go bye-bye. So now things look a bit different than it did before. Obviously, the German Civil War kicked off, and even though Bormann was chosen as the successor, Göring managed to unify everything. Moscovian blew up, and now we have Oberkommando Brauchitstadt, and Vyatka ate a lot of stuff here. They managed to destroy the Aryans. Vologda and Komi destroyed the communists here, and well, things look like this. And I thought that the best thing to do here is to recreate almost everything as much as it is possible. So we are here at the end of the previous episode, before the Remember February focus. Or no, actually it was after Vyatka got destroyed. But yeah, well, whatever. Let's remember February, and well, maybe we'll use the chaos here to get our hands on Vyatka. So let's fucking do this. No, I don't want you here. I want you here. Barcelona does not concern me. So yeah, there actually no resistance. Almost no resistance. Let's eat up those two victory points. Go for Oktябрьский. And now Ufa, Asha, Birsk, and go for Perm. And the rest, let's go for the general direction of the stuff. Go for Syktyvkar and for Ust-Kulom. And Perm is actually undefended. Probably just two more victory points and we'll be off. And not even so. Alright, so let's unify some stuff. I mean, integrate. We have some military factories, and just make this, and this is a fighter. Okay, so let's go for closer support and for fighters because we have almost none. And the true trader. With the liberation of Vyatka complete and the legacy of the February Revolution fulfilled, we take it upon ourselves to right the wrongs of history. Vladimir has been captured alive and was imprisoned in Vyatka under special military control until he was brought here, to Samara, to be tried for his crimes. Our soldiers now watch carefully over the streets of a free Vyatka, where they for the first time in a long time now are getting to see what democracy is like. Casting votes for representatives and important decisions is something very few remember. Supporters of the monarch have all fled, it would seem. To where? Who knows? And until we have to, who cares? Vyatka is free once more. In a dark room in the basement of a nondescript house in Samara, a light turns on, illuminating a scared, bruised and bloodied face. Weeks ago it had been fed with a silver platter in a state built by his exploited people to be his personal playground. Soon this battered face shall be brought to the light, and made to stand in front of a special tribunal to answer for his crimes. Last day of prisoner Romanov. Well, it's a sad thing. The focus is completed. The last day of prisoner Romanov. The sun shone on Vladimir Kirillovich's final... Let's try it one more time. The sun shone on Vladimir Kirillovich's final day on Earth. The prisoner was not melodramatic enough to wish for a storm in his final hours. Such weather might have been more fitting as a coda to a life of exile, leading to war and then to a troubled reign in the Russian anarchy. But the former Tsar did not begrudge the weather. It felt good to walk on a sunny day for a final time. His thoughts went to other kings, dethroned and killed like common criminals. His would be the fate of Maximilian of Mexico, given at least the honor of a soldier's death against the wall, better than Louis and Charles, decapitated like common criminals. Far better than his second cousin's death in a stuffy, dark basement lit only by the flesh of drunk communist gunmen. The sun shone on Samara, but not the warm, pleasant sun of France where he had lived after the revolution. He had never known what to think of the vast skies of Russia he had longed for while in exile. His opinion still eluded him as the soldier brought him to the wall. All around the plaza, scores of citizens of the so-called freed Russia looked at him, their emotions as hard to read as Vladimir's own. Gunmen in front of him, hard to swallow. Vladimir tried to blink away the fear. Thoughts of Leonida, of Maria. Perhaps they had made it to exile. Too late to worry. A wave of flashes, then nothing. So sets the sun of the Romanovs. Okay, so let's go. The grain of the people. Throughout recent Vyatkan history, freedom has been an idea thought of, but always more than a little out of sight, and certainly not something to talk around in public. Yet now the air of democracy flows freely through the veins of the people, and, for the first time in many decades, the people own the grain. With the entirety of Samara under the banner of liberty and equality, the same rationale must be turned to the fields. As our soldiers marched through the countryside, very few of the former landowners were to be found, and many of the peasants had already organized themselves into proto-communes, a fact that we must take advantage of. But for now, let us forget the logistics, because now it's no longer just grain, it's the people's grain. Our agricultural societal development will begin to improve. Nice! Oh, and I forgot about some things. Well, even though the save was actually trash after the update, we've actually managed to get some nice things, some nice mechanics. For example, the ROA, ROA officers whom we have to, bribe, so to speak. We need to make them loyal, and we have to have a lot of them in order to get a very nice bonus to our military. And then we have the black market, and I wasn't aware of it until I've searched some stuff in the Brittany focus tree, and it's actually pretty nice. But we have already Zlatos on our hands, and we have smuggling operations, so I doubt we will use it again. Or maybe not again, but anytime soon, you know. Okay, so the grain for the people is finished, and now acquiring Vyatka. With the Tsar and his cronies gone, many important industries in their former private serfdom now are in our hands. The Vyatka distillery was a project underwent by the Tsar's minions in order to please his demand for more and more booze and money. Before this distillery surely provided liquor for the Tsar and his men alone. Now it shall flow throughout our liberated territories, where it shall find itself in the belly of a free man. To Vyatka's south, the Izhevsk factory has crafted many of the rifles that cost our men's life in the campaign against the Tsar. Now that the arsenal is back under our command, its employees will help the army that shall liberate all of Russia. With Izhevsk and Vyatka's industrial concerns, our growing war of liberation has received a shot in the arm. So we now have the Vyatka distillery only for 720 days. When I played as the Brotherhood, it was permanent. That's weird. Oh, and the Siberian Free Territory is now a thing, as well as the Divine Mandate, but it always pops up. Okay, so a lot of focuses are now bypassed because of Vologda does not exist anymore. Yeah. So basically, whatever we will get, we have to bypass it. But I will read maybe peaceful integration because I like the idea of, you know, peaceful stuff. Fantastic news, the men in Vologda have seen reason and made the decision to put down the sword and pick up the pen to sign the treaty which would formally transfer the lands of Vologda to our stewardship. Effective immediately, the flag of our national reconstruction movement has been hung from almost every building in Vologda, and the soldiers of our new combined armies march together in a demonstration unlike any other. With this unification comes a number of administrative problems as well. Among those in the Vologdan administration are certain less amicable public servicemen still in high positions. While we may be able to make do with them, we can certainly expect that not all aspects of this peaceful integration will be peaceful as we wish. So let's bypass it. And Kostroma will also be bypassed, but let's read it. We have come upon the free city of Kostroma. While it usually sits as a gleaming jewel of the confluence of the west and the east, today it's a much different scene. As thousands flee the city, the route that only days ago carried countless riches from all across Russia, this bastion of civilization now carries only refugees and soldiers. As the battered defenders of Kostroma collapse like a dam under floodwater, our troops take hold, and now it is up to us to return this city to former wonders. While a sizable amount are more wary of our occupation, most seem to at least superficially welcome us, showing a general amiability to our soldiers. Control of Kostroma will be a complete game changer for our goal of Russian reunification. This city contains untold riches due in no small part to its amazing location. From it we can create a near monopoly of West Russian riverine trade, which we can use to supply our population much they would otherwise not have. Kostroma will be a boon indeed. It's also to be bypassed. Well, I won't read this. It's a lot of stuff, but actually it does not concern us anymore. No bypasses. Yeah, well, there's no Brotherhood anymore. So okay, we'll bypass this. We'll bypass this again. And now I can do those. Destroy their icons. There exists in permavirus, one that in RK Moscovian the common Russian knows all too much of, the scourge of Nazi idols. Swastikas flying from nearly every building and quite poorly done paintings of figures that one can only assume are of Hitler and his goons in Permheim sit perched on walls. This is a disgrace to Russia and the people of Perm. Under new occupation, demand that they be destroyed and Perm return to a pre-war status. Soldiers of our great liberation movement, including newly inducted locals, roam Perm, being deemed as iconoclasts for their work, gathering large quantities of paintings and flags in the centers of towns. The whole community watches and cheers. With the first step of removing the vestiges of the cultist Aryan Brotherhood, we are now able to remove the mental and political chains placed upon the resilient people of Perm. Now the icons destroyed, let's go for equality for all. The true measure of a country is the level of freedom in which the inhabitants live in. In the Hitler-worshipping Aryan Brotherhood, the true freedom-loving Russians lived under absolute control, with only those mad or desperate enough to conform to the Brotherhood's depraved doctrines. We have put an end to this horror, and we shall replace it with the rule of law. Russia has only citizens, sons and daughters equal under the law. We shall teach this to a generation deprived of its fundamental freedom, and re-educate those that have forgotten these inalienable rights. This will increase civilian morale by a medium amount, but we actually have very high civilian morale, so I don't know if this will change anything. And Alexander Mień unified the Russia. Kazakhstan does not concern us. Equality has been established, and now let's execute their leaders. Yeah, let's have Wagner's guts thrown down the river or something like that. With the idols destroyed and freedom re-established, all that remains is disposing of the waste of material and food that is the leaders of these vile dogs. While no trial is needed to see the extent of their crimes, it is in appeal to our moral standards and strong belief in democracy and fair treatment that we will, regardless, try these men as Russians. Well, they don't actually they don't see themselves as Russians, so whatever. There is no surprise in the room when the judge hands down the decision. Only joy. Minutes later, in a specially prepared room, the ringleaders of the AB, including its leader, Alexander Medvedev, but it was Dobrowolski. Okay. Were shot by a firing squad of some of the finest Russians we could find. Death to those who will willingly trade their people for a false doctrine. Death to the enemies of a free Russia. Death to Germany and her collaborators. Forwards to a free and equal Russia. I wonder if Yemelyanov were executed as well. Was executed, actually. Whoops. Komi is justifying against us. That's bad. And I don't know how much time do I have. Plan brown? Why brown? Well, whatever. Okay, so we have 19 days left. I have some units to deploy. So let's get them here. And I think that the rest of the tree needs me to be at peace, right? Yeah, only the remaining threats. I can do only the remaining threats. For the rest I must be at peace. Okay, so let's do it. As we continue on our march to liberate Russia, we can now see the light at the end of the tunnel. With the West Russian Revolutionary Front and its despotic bureaucrats gone, all those who remain are little match for a nearly united West Russia. It is time we take the gauntlet of liberator of all Russia and complete what we started. We shall wipe from Russia the scourge of warlordism and disunity, replacing those that wish to keep Russia fragmented with those who yearn for a greater freedom of Russia. It is up to us to ensure that the idea of a united, free Russia does not vanish from the face of this earth. Base war support minus 5% for Komi. That's not much. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so four focus trees were bypassed or have been bypassed. Okay, so I can actually do this and this. So let's go with Christ loves all. While Grandmaster Antipine promised protection from Christ himself in return for fulfilling his holy prophecy, just like all the frauds, the holy defense crumbled in the wake of the legions of a united free Western Russia. The people of Gaidny deserved better, and now it is our job to deliver that better world to them, an act that will be done not through any more violent means, but through fraternal love and respect for all, regardless of beliefs. While before the extremist Christianity ruled the land with an iron hammer, we must not replace that hammer with a secular one. Instead, we will promote moderate practice of religion and ensure the protection of Orthodox churches. Spirituality will prosper peacefully under the loving guidance of the new republic. Okay, so now I'm ready for Komi to strike, but they don't attack. Okay, so probably they are just too scared. Aww. They're too scared. So, how much? 15 days. Okay, so this is 14 days. Yeah, well, let's go with this. And go, 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 go. This peace conference does not concern me. Oh, I forgot about the... yeah. Why I have only 19 planes? What happened? Oh, I just didn't produce enough. Okay. Let's go for Syktyvkar and go with Christ loves all. Syktyvkar arsenal captured. We have secured the arsenal in Syktyvkar, a major stockpile of military weaponry that could prove decisive in securing victory in West Russia. Previously, in the hands of the West Russian Revolutionary Front, it came into the possession of the fledgling Komi Republic when the WRRF flanked Syktyvkar. Komi used this arsenal to maintain order inside of its notoriously unstable capital and establish itself as a regional power, but even with full access to it, was unable to prevent its loss. The arsenal contains firearms, explosives, tanks, and chemical weaponry, a fearsome collection for any would-be conqueror. Having taken it, we are at a hefty advantage, proudly wielding the weapons that will bring us victory in West Russia. In the perpetual resource shortage of the post-Soviet order, every gun counts. Our control over the arsenal will afford us all the equipment we need to impose our authority over the region. And we have division attack and defense on core territory. That's nice. So how far from capitulation they are? They are very far. Oh fuck, it's in Arkhangelsk. Okay, so maybe let's not rush it. But it would be nice if... if we manage to get over there quickly. Alright, so let's use those tanks to secure or maybe not to secure, but to make sure that we already have some of the victory points, as our motorized division will probably be, well, it won't be enough. So where's the other one? Okay. Let's go to Pleshetsk, or whatever it's called. Sheksna Kryslovzol is done. Oh, I know. Let's go to Grazoviec. As I thought. Yeah, well, whatever. And Galich. No, you are going to Pleshetsk. Oh, now it's a nice pocket. Finish him off. And again, another pocket. That's cool. Let's go for Kostroma. Yandoma. Okay, so let's go for Arhangelsk already, because probably it's undefended. And show them the way. Way for whom? The Tsarist schismatics in Bielezniki had the right idea in a way. They sought to mend the rift dividing Russia. They sought to do this by uniting Tsars and the Soviets. Their efforts were doomed from the start, as both Tsarism and communism are poison to the modern Russian nation. Only the restoration of a free and open republic by the ROA can peacefully end a decade of civil war. We will take every former Malorossi who understands this and have the rest thrown in jail, waiting their trial. Good. And Komi is conquered. So, I think that it's a good idea and a high time to finish the episode. I hope that you've liked it. Sorry for any tongue slips or something like that. As you know, I'm not a native Russian speaker. English as well. I know that some of you told me not to worry, but I always worry, so whatever. If you liked the episode, be sure to leave a like, a comment, and to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of this stuff. And see ya.